Hi, I'm with my friend Bricia today, and she's joining me from Texas. Thank you so much for being on today.
You're welcome. Excited to be here.
Bricia is married to Tom. They've been married for 11 years, and she has three boys, a 25-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 5-year-old. So if you've watched Mariah's episode, she referred to a mother that she admires that is all about moments and being okay with going out and dancing in the rain with your kids. And that was Bricia. That was, she was the mother that she was referring to. So I knew I wanted to talk to Bricia a little more about that. Can you explain just a little bit about your philosophy of really appreciating those moments with your kids and being willing to throw the schedule out the window when necessary?
Oh man, that's life, right? I think when you talk about, oh, I just want to have a happy life, or I want to be happy, or I want to have a happy marriage, or my kids to be happy. If you don't have those little moments of unscheduled or unplanned spur of the moment, there's just them coming in right now, and they're in their pajamas, take them off, who cares, then you're missing out on joy. We are that we may have joy. That's it right there. And I maybe grew up like that with my parents, to where they were more planners than I am. I'm not a planner, so we have a lot of those moments. But I remember when my dad would say, "Hey, we're gonna drive down to the beach. Get up," and he would get me up at 2 a.m. I'm like, "What? Why? What?" And so we'd go out for a week, and just him and I have those moments, and I remember those forever, like forever. Those are always there. As crazy as my relationship with my dad, I remember those moments. And with my mom, "Hey, let's go down to the beach. I want to watch the surface." Like, she wanted to watch the surface with me. Yeah, who says no to that when you're 16, right? They're so cute. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's life.
That's
The juice of life.
So I am a planner. I am very structured, and have spent most of my life wishing I was a spontaneous person, and I'm not. So for someone like me, that, like, it's really hard for me to put aside in those moments, like, oh, if they don't go to bed right now, they're gonna be monsters tomorrow.
Oh, so true. So true every time. Yeah.
So
Without fail.
so do you have tips for me, I guess, is my question, on how to just, like, put that away and just enjoy those moments, or do I just need to get over myself? That is the tip.
I couldn't tell you to get over yourself, because that's not going to happen. But the way I see it is, it's worth it for me. It's worth it for me to have that connection with the kids, and it's worth it for them to have those memories, because no amount of money is going to give them happy moments in the mud. Frog hunting at 9 o'clock on a school night is nuts, yet they get to do that. My husband came in the other day, and so I think we both do this constantly. Our kids are going to be so unbalanced. He comes in and he goes, "Honey, I have to go back to the test site tonight. I want to take Daniel, because no school experience is ever going to give him what I want to give him today." And I did a Robin Perry. I said, "Really? It's a school night, babe. You're not going to be home at 10. He goes, "I'll be home around 11. "No, you won't. You'll be home at midnight." For sure enough, he was home at midnight. But I realized, like, yeah, it's so true. Like, this is like career center or career shadowing at 10 o'clock with his dad. And he got to bond with him. It was totally spontaneous. And it was just, and he was so happy. He did everything, like all the chores were done, homework was done. And it was just like, it was so good for him. And I couldn't take it away from him, because the plan was to have him in bed by 7:30, I would say to you is to maybe adjust your expectations a little bit. Have that moment, 10, 15 minutes or a couple hours of unscripted time. I would say to adjust the expectations of order sometimes, because they really ever order. Like, our kids are always, they're their own little people, right? I don't know. I'm just rambling.
No, I think you're right on it, that we do that for some semblance of control, and we don't
Right,
actually ever have control.
right. Oh, I know I don't.
Yeah. Um, okay, so you have three boys, and they're all pretty spread apart in age, especially your oldest to your
Mhm.
younger two, 25, 10, and 5. So they're all in very different stages of life. Tell me how you kind of help them have those really important relationships with each other. Um, how do you create that closeness for them so that they know that they have each other as brothers?
Ooh, how do I do that? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, number one.
Okay.
Uh, I don't think I ever have known what I'm doing. So with Jesse, I had him when I was 18 years old. And then I put myself through college and I worked 2 jobs while I was with him. And he was my priority. I was a single mom with a lot of help from my family and a huge community of other parents. Um, so he grew up a very much an only child. So he was able to have a lot of, you know, just me and him time. And then I married Tom, and I kind of have this little chip on my shoulder about uh, pulling Jesse out of California, out of his family, out of his friend support, like this huge support group. And then we moved to Arkansas. So we cling to each other a little bit closer then because that was it, right? So him and then Tom just comes in, who was a crazy loving man. He adopted Jesse. And they're, as much as Tom wanted to be his dad, um, we started off with Tom being a friend. So one of the things we talked about on how to parent Jesse, as far as Tom goes, I said just be a friend. Like I think that would be the best thing for him to bond with you is like friends. And then I got pregnant right away, so um, Jesse doesn't handle babies very well. He does not like babies. He cannot stand their crying. Like, so for about a year, we didn't leave Jesse alone with Daniel because he was a hard baby. He'd cry a lot. He was very loud, happy, loud, mad, loud, sad. Like all of it has always been loud with Daniel. So Jesse was like, I'm okay. He's very aware of how to do things with his little brothers. But he's not like oh, he's so cute and like how a mom would want the big brother to be with little brother, right? Like that expectations, right? Like I wanted him to be like, hey, my little brother, he's so cute. Mom, let me take him. Or, none of that happened with Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, to me, I guess, because, again, those expectations were there. It was a little bit of a disappointment, but then I got to understand that that's just not Jesse. And so the bond that he has with, say, Daniel is art. Daniel likes to draw. Jesse's an amazing artist. So Daniel and Jesse will sit and draw together. He's taught Daniel how to draw things. He'll make a fire pit in the backyard for them. He'll, cook sausages outside for them. He'll do a fort with them, like the fun stuff that doesn't involve cuddling or heart-to-heart conversations or anything like that. He'll do things like kind of like what I would do with him, I guess, but
Yeah.
not so much like a deep connection with them. Which I think I've just sort of let that be. I've kind of been like, you'll figure it out. I'm sure you got this, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Daniel and David, so there's a 4-year difference there. It's been harder for me because there's a huge gap, right, with the first and the second. But with the other two, I had to deal with that sibling rivalry more. Where I want you, mommy. Not I don't like my brother. That's never been the case. They love each other. But I want your time. I want it to, the worst, like the heartbreak is, I wish it was just us again. I wish he wasn't around, right? And I take that person like, I know, it's so good, right?
Yeah.
And then here comes this third person and just sort of, messes it up again. But it's also such a wonderful addition that, yes, I do miss those moments, but such a cute, sweet boy. And what how would you like it if he wasn't around? I've learned to like, yeah, you're fine. You'll be buddies eventually. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. It's a long way. It's just I kind of try to stay off, I guess, of their relationship and let them kind of figure it out.
Yeah. You are really close to each of your boys and have that really special relationship, and a real family culture of togetherness and appreciating each other. So, and you have told me that you attribute that largely to breastfeeding. Can you tell me a little
I
bit
know.
about that?
Sure. Okay, so with Jessie, I was, again, very, very young. And honestly, I didn't see another way of feeding my child. My mom is a strong advocate for breastfeeding, so she helped me so much. His dad, his biological dad's mom, was also very strong proponent of breastfeeding. She breastfed her youngest until she was like 4.5 or 5 or something. And I thought at that time, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am not breastfeeding that long. And lo and behold, I breastfed Jesse until he was 2.5, Daniel until he was 4.5, and David until he was 4.5. So I felt like it helped me with Jesse. I was in college. I had 2 jobs. The one time we had together was nursing. So, and that was, and nothing else was around, and nobody else was more important. It's just those however minutes a day we were together was so precious. So, that to me, I think, was huge for being so young, not knowing what I was doing, but doing one thing right. That was what I felt was one thing that I did right. And then with Daniel, I remember Tom said, no, once they start asking for it, it's definitely too late to start to keep nursing or whatever. But he knew, he saw that it was good, like he saw how good it is for kids, I guess, and he saw the value of it. He just learned to, like, hey, that's what she's doing, I'm not gonna mess with that. So at that time I was, married with a young teenager. Jesse was 15. I think he was 16 when Daniel was born. And so he got to see how hard it is to those early weeks, months, with a baby. And he was very willing to help out, and he was very involved in the runnings of the house when I couldn't run the house, because he saw that someone needed to step in. So that helped, I think, me to appreciate Jesse more. It helped me to have that time with Daniel. I mean, I think co-sleeping and nursing to me was like, it saved my marriage, saved my life, my sanity. I could sleep better. Since David came along and Daniel was still in bed with us, and so he just sort of moved over to that. We have a king size bed, so it's like perfect. And I feel like those moments that I was able to spend alone with the kids, with nothing else mattering, I maybe had a book, or we would sing, or I would talk to them in Spanish, and just sort of, all I see is you. That to me, at that early age, being, the first 3 years of your life, right, are the most formative years. To me, I felt like, check, right? I was able to do that. And so that to me felt like the most important thing I could do for them at that time.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate your perspective on that. I think that's very different from the way that I felt like I bonded, and I breastfed both my girls, but different from the experience I had in bonding with my kids. But
not to say that other moms that don't do it are wrong, or like some people can't, and I feel for those that can. I feel strongly that's my thing, but not for everybody, for sure.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I think the key was what you said, that it saved your sanity, and I think in those first year or two, you do whatever helps keep you
exactly
sane, and you feel fine about it, because that's what you have to do. Yeah, that makes sense. Bricia, I remember you telling me once that that single parenting was way easier than co-parenting.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
tell me
100%.
tell me a little bit about that. I'm sure that would not be everyone's experience, but I want to hear from you why you think that.
Maybe that's the control freak in me, right? When I said went, it didn't matter what other opinions were. My parents, at one point, my dad did try to say you're doing it wrong, or but yeah, basically you're doing it wrong. And I said, because I was living with my parents when I was single parenting, and I say that because I said, like I said before, I had a lot of community help and family support. But I actually surprised myself with standing up for myself and saying, you've already done your raising of children. This is my turn. And whether I do it wrong or right, I have to do what I have to do. Yeah, that's basically it. Because when you're married, now you have to come to an agreement on how things, oh, I believe this. Well, actually, I don't think that that's what I believe. And so now you have to, actually real life, right? Now you have to adult and coexist with another adult and agree on something, or disagree to, or agree to disagree, and be okay with that, and live through that and not fall apart because of that. That's harder. It's, being married is the hardest thing I've ever done. I can raise 3 kids, easy. Being married is hard. It's work, and it's so fulfilling because it's work, But yeah, it's humbling to me to raise my kids with him and not be so controlling.
Thank you so much, Bricia. This has been really, really fun to kind of pick your brain a little bit. Are you ready for a questionnaire?
Sure.
Bricia, what's your favorite sound?
Morning bird wake up sounds.
What's your least favorite sound?
Anything that is annoying. Crunching, slurping, sniffling, flipping of nails, bodily sounds.
Okay. Yeah. What's your favorite word?
Peace.
What do you know?
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. What do I know? I know I am loved.
What do you want to learn?
Gosh, another language would be fun.
Okay. What scares you?
The unknown, uncertainty.
Okay.
Uncertainty, yeah, that's scary to me.
Tell me about a mother that you admire.
My mom.
And Bricia, what are you good at?
I don't like to admit that I'm good at cooking because that would be boastful, and I don't quite enjoy cooking. But I think I'm pretty good. I've gotten good at cooking.
Your tamales. I remember those.
For real? Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for asking me.